Think kind of bam bam. It's with the arms Jamaican. With a different style, different fashion. You know? Tell me say one thing Nancy can't understand. One thing Nancy can't understand. What make them a talk about me ambition? Say what make them a talk about me ambition? Come and say some of them a ask me where me get it from. Just some of them a ask me where me get it from. I told them no no it's from creation. I told them no no it's from creation. Bam bam hey yo, what a bam 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 bam.
My earliest experience was just seeing other people playing. When I started band and I wanted to play saxophone, but it ended up my dad saying, no, you only can play the trumpet. For a long time I was really bad, last chair in band, and then I ended up practicing, sounding really good, and then I got first chair, then I decided maybe this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I expect it to be a lot less than it is now. Jacobs likes to beat you up a lot because they want you to come out knowing a lot. Being a little bit run down is the norm for us. The normal Jacobs regimen for like my fall semester would be having about 2 hours of free time before I have to sleep every day. In one of those hours, I have to pick up my horn and practice. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't stressful. It is very stressful. It's a very, very, very stressful life, and there's a lot of times where a person feels like they're going to give up. And I've had a lot of moments like that where you're sitting in your room thinking, I'm not getting any better. I'm not going to be the person who I thought I was when I was going to walk out. And even though Jacobs kind of slaps you around a little bit in the process, I still find myself looking back and saying, wow, that was a lot of fun. I just want to go off and wherever I end up teach. I'm looking to teach middle school, young kids, just how to enjoy music. Not a lot of people like to think that music is about doing the best you can, sounding the best you can. And I think all that's made through the process of actually enjoying what you're doing. I just want to be able to give students the ability to find these facets themselves and then find themselves within that.
Music major life, especially music education, is very stressful. And I don't think it's because of the workload. I think it's because of creative demand. If you're in a math class, it doesn't matter whether the math problem inspires you. You sit down and do formulas and you apply your knowledge and it comes out right. But music, if you're not completely invested in what you're doing in every second, then it's a waste of time. There's a quote from the saxophone player Dexter Gordon, and he's talking about why music is so difficult and being a performer specifically is so difficult. And he keeps using the phrase, you have to create a masterpiece by midnight. And that gets at the core of what being a music major is in terms of the difficulty is people are expecting you to be at your creative peak from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And anything you do as a musician has to be with every bit of soul, every bit of creativity, and every bit of artistic vision that you can. And when you're constantly being asked to perform your masterpiece, it's incredibly demanding and incredibly tiring. That's what's frustrating about being a music major, not the long hours. It's the long hours of being the greatest creative engine that you possibly can be. Teaching music has always been the primary focus for what I want to do as a career. Teaching hits so much to the core of what music is, which is a method of communication that's universal to everyone. In high school, my biggest musical influence and educational influence was my band director, Travis Keller, out of Boulder, Colorado. He demonstrated both of those careers in such an incredible way. Both as a musician, he was so passionate and soulful that it really pushed me to challenge myself and get even better musicianship and even better aesthetic considerations. And then as an educator, he was so invested in the lives of his students in every sphere that I began to understand the effect that a music teacher or any teacher in general could have on a student's life. And I believe that every single person can use music to better themselves in whatever fashion they want to be bettered. And I think that without people committed to teaching music the right way, which is based on enjoyment, which is based on fulfillment, which is based on expression, not based on practice time or winning auditions, I think if we have people committed to that ideal, everything falls into place in those people's lives. I don't think the future can exist without proper arts education, and I think music is an incredibly vital part of that.
I have this weird memory of me conducting my stuffed animals. Like I had this couch, and it was like a U shape, and then I like arranged them, and then like made instruments out of building blocks and stuff, and I made them instruments, and then I would like pretend to conduct, and then if they played well, which I don't know how I decided how they played well because they're not making any noise because they're not real animals, I would like give them like little treats or something, like candy or something. I remember that. I think I was like 3 or something. I don't know why I remember that, but it sticks out of my mind, and that's weird and corny, but that's my earliest musical memory. I love music school, and it gives me a great base for building musicality, building theoretical knowledge behind music, and I learn all the building blocks of music and what it means to be a great musician here. But my true passions are in popular forms of music. I relate to popular music because sometimes I feel like classical music is missing the point. And by missing the point, I mean it can be really snobby sometimes. And sometimes we're always worried about perfecting the old instead of pushing forward with the new. Because right now, with electronic music and all of these different genres coming from everywhere, not just the United States, not just from Europe, but from Africa, from Middle Eastern countries, there's music everywhere, and the new access that we have to it with the internet. There's so much out there, and there's so much to learn about that I think getting bogged down in what all of the old white classical composers did already, while still important and still worthwhile to learn that, we need to look forward and we need to use the new resources that we have to create something that only we can make in this generation. And so that's why I gravitate towards popular music, and that's why I produce my own music. As far as teaching, I'd like to inspire not just kids, but everybody to go out, explore music, make music that really moves them, and that they're not just mindlessly practicing because they need it to be good and they need to be the best or win the audition. And that's what I want to inspire in my students.
I would like to have done so and so and so.